Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jules, here for WhatCulture Gaming, joined by the ever-lovable hairpiece that is Josh Brown. Never gets old me saying that.
No, I didn't.
You resent me a little bit more each time. But if we're together, it can mean only one thing. It's time for some news, so let's hit that intro.
What's that? There's news? Oh my gosh! Guess it's time for Jules and Josh!
Oh god, it still works when you're
Somehow, I didn't think that was going to work, but it did.
That hurt my tailbone quite a lot. Anyway, today we are talking about the brand new news that just dropped last night. Yes, Borderlands 3 is making a huge, glorious and manic return to consoles and PC in the near future because it was announced thanks to 2 teaser trailers and one a developer trailer. The Borderlands 3 is back and it looks bigger and more mad than ever. You've written down some notes down here, which we're going to go over in a minute. But one of them is very large and very important. Do you want to get it out of the way now, or do you want to get it out of the way later?
Should we do it now? It's the only note that matters, in my opinion.
Sure.
It is
notes,
the
I like it.
sax solo. My God. That's not how a sax works. But it was the best
like a
bit.
clarinet.
You know what, right? This is kind of like, we're joking, but it's indicative of how well this trailer got the tone right. So many trailers like this have tried to do the kind of fourth wall breaking, like kind of meme humor, right?
Yeah.
And they fall so flat in their face. It feels like it's done by 40-year-olds in a boardroom who are like, what do the kids like these days?
Hello, fellow children. I hear you like the memes.
But they never get it right. We saw it even in great games like Sunset Overdrive, which did in the game, didn't get it right in the marketing. So to see them do this and sort of nail that kind of comedy is so promising, because it could have said, like we said before coming in, that it could have felt dated, but Borderlands 3 somehow does not feel dated.
I think it's because of the fact that it's got such a writing pedigree. I mean, Anthony Birch and his team did a fantastic job on Borderlands 2. They actually managed to make a game that was at once incredibly silly and over the top, actually have some emotional heartstrings to pluck and character development that was actually pretty interesting. It was, you know, it's a game that frames itself as a shooter-looter, but it was definitely one with a lot of heart to it. So fingers crossed that is going to come across in this one here, because we got to see quite a lot of the game. I was surprised at how much they were going to show.
It was a hefty, like, 3-minute 40 trailer, more than I expected.
When they just showed the Mask of Madness teaser trailer, I was like, okay, fine, you know what, it's got me hyped, I'm definitely ready for it. Even though it confused the internet when they thought this isn't that people were saying it wasn't a Borderlands game. And I was like, what are you on about? It's like, no, it's just a game with Borderlands characters in it. It's like,
I didn't see this.
Like, and it was like, what? And it's because it was called Mask of Madness trailer, and it was like, guys, it's Borderlands. Like, come on. Like, but anyway, we got to see new locations, we got to see new enemies, we got to see characters returning from the fall.
Loads and loads of characters
But
returning.
the most important one for me is the absolute insane amount of guns that is going to be in that game.
1 billion guns.
1 billion guns.
Which, you know, every other Borderlands games has had a ridiculous amount of weapons, but these ones genuinely look different. They didn't just look like they were different colors or had slightly different stats. We had guns with legs.
Although we will go into that, because that is absolute madness, but it does actually sit side by side another announcement that the Gearbox made, which was the Borderlands Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Now, that was interesting because in the marketing thing for that, they said over bazillion guns. And I was like, wait a minute, bazillion is a made-up thing, but it's technically bigger than a billion.
It is.
So therefore, the original Borderlands game has more guns than this new one that's coming out. So I thought that was a bit of a strange choice.
Just a fake news term, isn't it? Just like, what does that even mean?
But do you know what it does mean? Guns with legs. So what we saw from that is if it sounds absolutely bat crazy, then it totally is, because we saw literally a gun with 2 little bipedal legs just running towards shooting people. Yeah. So unless that's going to be a skill, or when you reload, you throw it down and it then crops up legs.
It could be one of those like abilities.
They did have some sort of like inherent gun abilities in the previous game, such as when you reload, you threw it and it acted as a grenade.
That was cool.
Yeah, it acted as a boomerang sometimes. Like it would, the reload would give you the next ammo clip, like fire abilities and stuff like that. Like the amount of sort of mini customization within the guns was a staggering feature. So I'm hoping that carries on.
Well, what's interesting, like you mentioned, the Borderlands Game of the Year edition, because that's not just kind of a HD, even though the original was like HD. HD upres is not just adding new textures and new visuals; it's adding more customization options retroactively.
That's interesting,
into that, which is cool. It gives you more of a reason to go back, because this game's already been out on like the last gen consoles that had a Game of the Year edition. Then people have played Borderlands to death. These games have been re-released almost as many times as Skyrim has.
I mean, but I have to admit, I'm probably not going to pick up the Game of the Year edition, only because of the fact that I have played it to death, and the new customization options aren't really going to attract somebody, I mean, I spent too long on that game, so I'm just going to be looking forward to the future, and if I want to go back, I'll play the Handsome Jack collection that's got Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and Borderlands 2, and all the DLC. I mean, that was just staggering.
Here's the thing, right? When I was watching this trailer, when all the old characters were being reintroduced, some of them I completely forgot, like, existed. I realized how much, like, weight or depth there was to this entire story. Like you said, I sort of took it for granted in this loot shoot again, that I didn't realize sort of how invested I was, so I want to go back and I want to play through the games just to brush up on the story a little bit, because I haven't played Borderlands 2 since it came out back in 2012.
It was a long time ago, actually, when you think about it. I mean, to be honest, though, the only thing that disappointed me about that trailer was the fact that they didn't use that "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked."
That's true. I like the 4 dubstep thing in this, man. That sort of did it for me. It's not as good as that.
I don't know. It's what it is. But I tell you what, let's talk about sort of the features that were in the Borderlands 3 trailer, because we had new bad guys that were introduced. We don't know the name of them yet. I don't think that's been posited out.
I don't think so.
All I know is that these 2 people, we got like a young girl and quite a tall-looking, menacing guy. And the first thing I said to you this morning when I came in was, it's a testament to having character design come through in their motion. And it's the way that the guy with the sort of like Adam Ant hairstyle is walking. He's doing that sort of thing where his shoulders are moving, but his head is fixated and focused. That's an evil walk. Whoever designed that, I was like, that's delicious. Let me drink it in. I want some more of that.
Those are sort of like the small details that kind of set Borderlands apart from other games that kind of ape this art style. Because you can do like cell shaded and make it look very similar, but it's those little sort of subtle visual touches that tell you everything you need to know about the character's disposition and their personality. That sort of, I don't know, makes it so instantly appealing, like makes these characters so instantly not, I was going to say iconic, I suppose. Some of them are iconic, but you know what I mean? You get everything you need from them just from that glimpse, and I think it's a testament that you came straight in and said, Josh, look at this walk, this tells you everything you need to know. That walk in those rock-hard 6-pack abs, right? Everyone in this game has rock-hard 6-pack abs, and I'm here for it.
To be honest, I feel like if the future does go the way of the Vault, then to be honest with you and I will actually finally get in good shape, which maybe it'll actually be a good thing.
No,
I'm destined to be the new Shooty McFace. I can already feel that now. But we got to see returning characters such as Lilith is back, and she was sporting a fiery pair of wings, which we have seen in the previous game, but now they just were animated really, really well.
Yes, it was a bunch of that stuff, like where it was kind of like coming off characters, and it was like, those animations are way better than I expected it to be. I don't know why I expected this game to be so dated, but it feels exactly what you want Borderlands 3 to be.
Yes, they've definitely put a lot of fluidity into their movements, which is fantastic. Then we got to see fan favourite Tiny Tina.
Yeah, we did.
Hopefully voiced by Ashley Birch, who is Anthony Birch's sister. And honest to God, the biggest crush that I will ever have in my life.
Interesting.
If I ever met her, I would be so speechless. I think I'd eat my own tongue.
If I could jump into your brain for a day, I think I would understand you so much more.
You'd know what I think about you, really, then. You wouldn't want that, mate. No, I'm joking. So, I mean, we also get characters from Tales of the Borderlands showing up as well.
Yes, we did. Well, this is because I didn't play Tales of the Borderlands, but I heard by everyone who did play it that it was really, really good.
Unbelievably so. One of Telltale's last hurrahs, basically.
Yeah. It was like really sort of pushed their sort of style of game design forward. They made a lot of great innovations in that, but I never got around to playing it. Now I'm going to have to play it because it seems like they're incorporating a lot of the lore and the story from that series, which I genuinely didn't expect.
Which I think is going to be great because it gives people more of an incentive to go and play that game.
That's true.
Which is
it is very true.
There was there's a few things that I did notice that we're not sure if they're going to be character abilities or if these people were non-playable characters, but there was a few things such as like, what's the god called where it's got many arms? Is it Vishnu?
I don't want to.
I think I'm going to say I'm going to go with
Vishnu.
Vishnu, or that basically it's there was a character that summoned what appeared to be sort of like metaphysical arms that were going around, and if that is an ability, as in like you can summon that and like punch foes to death, kind of like Azura's Wrath style, that'd be insane.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the original Borderlands had some interesting abilities, but it also had just things like a turret. You know what I mean? Like we've seen those before, and I like the little sort of subtle tweaks to those that you saw in this trailer, like you said, like that potential ability. And even just little things like the flying cars, you know, it's like a bit of a difference to what we expect. Like you've got like this additive sort of extra sense of customization and difference.
They're going to have to step things up in some way though, because it's big shoes to fill when you look at the Borderlands 2 characters, because like the Gunzerker was my favourite one. Being able to just wield dual wield guns, like sounds like a really simple premise, but honestly it was such a game-changing feature. And I'm hoping that one of the abilities that looked like there was a guy who basically transformed into a mech. So that could be, if that was a special power, that could be absolutely fantastic as well, because like you say, that could then your shield thrower, your tank, your dual wielding thing.
Yeah.
I just want to see more of it. And even though they gave us 3 minutes of it, which doesn't sound like a lot, is huge when you consider how far away off this is actually going to be.
Well, that's it. We know we're going to get more on April 3rd. We know the Borderlands Game of the Year edition now is in the same month. But I don't know this game must be soon. The amount that they showed off in this opening trailer, it's got to be the end of this year.
The development has got to be like nearly complete in the grand scheme of things.
So.
You'd hope so. I mean, like some of the locations look absolutely fantastic, and the multiple worlds that you can actually go and explore. It's just looking like they've addressed a lot of the little complaints there were for the second and first game, and just seem to have really doubled down onto it. They've given people the freedom that they requested. They've given people the customization that they wanted, and hell, it looks like they're going to deliver us some memorable bad guys and stories.
I hope so. I mean, like, lest we forget Handsome Jack, but like the thing.
I know
when,
he again will be insanely hard to top. Like insanely, he's the most likable bad guy I've probably ever played against.
I think he's been on every single one of our lists on bad guys since that game came out like 7 years ago.
He's just fantastic, that's why.
There was that like a really striking moment in the trailer when they were going through the locations that really kind of not blew my mind, but just it sort of summed up like the way it's blending like old with new and kind of pushing it forward. I know we've had like cities before in sort of Borderlands, but when it sort of flashed from like the desolate kind of like deserts to like this super high-tech futuristic cyber city, like the disparity in sort of like the visual palette and like the juxtaposition between it, I was like, man, this is cool. Just the sheer breadth of places we'll be going, like that excited me. We're not just gonna be running around sort of like the same kind of locations that we had in Borderlands 2. The plain wasteland sort of thing. And that's fine, but again, it was like maybe it's just because my expectations were so low, but this was exactly what I wanted.
I'm unbelievably hyped, and lest we not forget, the sax solo was just still again, that's not a saxophone.
What is a sax then?
That looked like you were playing a trumpet through a trombone. Not even how you do it. Not even how you do it.
Saxophone. Wait, no, I'm lost.
What are you doing? You listen to music every day. How do you not know what a saxophone?
I watched this trailer, him do it before I came in.
Draw me with your finger what you think the shape of a it's going to call it trombone.
Oh God,
it's saxophone looks like.
It's because I've got it. It's like woo.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were drawing a circle for a second. Now I was like, what is he doing? Yeah. Okay. So how would you play that then? Right.
I don't know.
Kill me now. Brilliant.
I don't know.
Anyway, so that has been the Borderlands 3 announcement trailer. Hope you guys are as excited about it as we are, but we will be bringing you all of the news that comes out as soon as it drops. Let us know down below if you're going to be picking up this game and or the Gearbox's Game of the Year edition for Borderlands 1.
Borderlands 2 VR as well.
And Borderlands 2 VR, Bongo Brown's recommendations says that's worthwhile. Yes? Yeah. Anyway, as always, I've been Jules. You can follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter.
I've been Josh. You can follow me at Josh Broom with 2 O's over on Twitter.
I always think that's so funny that you have to put 2 O's in your name.
It confuses everyone and nobody ever knows what it is. Josh Brood. Is it O's? Is it zeros? It's O's.
Anyway, that's why I have to specify mine's with a 0.
Exactly.
Anyway, as always, you guys have been awesome. Never forget that, and we will speak to you soon. Bye.